Hello guys, JP Mitchell here, back today for another video. So I want to explain my story with autism and what it was like to live in the world of autism and versus what it was like to finally come out after 4 to 5 years of intensive therapy at home in Lankford and textiles therapy and PE therapy and all the other extra therapies in school. So my story begins in 2003-2004 when I was approximately 4 years old. Let me start by introducing myself first. My name is JP Mitchell. I'm Mitch's beauty son. I was born and raised in Souk here. Souk was my autistic background, where I was autistic in this town. Then I went from that to a typically normal uh, a confused teenager in a high school and all that stuff. So that's my introduction, guys. So let's get this story going. So, like I said before, my story officially begins when I was 4 years old, and all my language and all my communication went away. Now, when the therapy was rolling, Mitch and Peggy, my parents, did the pull-in, and what that means is that they got me the diagnosis, they got me the therapist, they got me the right tools and the right and set on the right path. So by the time I didn't need all the therapists anymore, because all of them were women, all of them were females, right? So by the time I didn't need the therapists anymore, that's when I did the pushing, where I pushed myself out of my autistic world completely to the point where I was out of that world and I was in the world of normality, where that's the before footage when I was autistic. Now we go into the after footage where I'm completely recovered from autism. I no longer, I still had the diagnosis because the symptoms were based on my diagnosis. Because when Mitch went to the doctor in the Victoria General Hospital, where I was born at, obviously, the doctor told him that, well, your son, JP Mitchell, is a perfectly normal autistic child. He has perfectly normal behavior for an autistic child that fits the diagnosis perfectly. And then we did the NSCOMS project at the Queen Alexandra Children's Hospital in Vancouver there, and they were no help to us. They did not give any help to us. They simply said that, well, your son JP Mitchell is a perfectly normal autistic child, but there's a chance that he may never talk, never speak again, most likely never be potty trained, will most likely never communicate, socialize, have friends, maybe get a couple of girlfriends. Probably he won't even get that at all either. He mostly will never get to high school, most likely. He will never graduate from high school. He'll never go to college. He'll never get married. This was the future that was presented or described to us as a family, as the Mitchell family, because we were the Mitchell family. So as the Mitchell family, this was the future that was described based on my future, what my future is going to entail. So by the time that was well said, we got the therapy going. We got me on a diet called the Brat diet, which is apples, rice, bananas, and toast. We got all that going on. We got the therapy going. We got me going into school. We got me doing this, doing that in school. We got me doing more therapy in school. But this wasn't your typical average, normal therapy at home or in Lankford or in Colwood. This was therapy that was life skills therapy. That was PE therapy, artwork, textiles, learning skills, all these other therapies that I was lacking, I didn't have back then. So by the time I finished not high school, but Journey Middle School, said high school there. By the time I finished up Journey Middle School, then I was going into high school. So this is the after footage. So I'm speaking in full sentences. I'm talking to people. I'm schmoozing with girls, saying, "Hi, ladies, how you guys doing today?" And I'm becoming cool like my peers. Them Then by the time I became cool like my peer group, my autism was gone, the signs weren't there anymore, the characteristics were not there, and this is where I was taking manly steps, where I was pushing myself out of my disabling isolation, out of my autistic world completely. And by the time I was no longer autistic anymore, that was the turning point. And then at the grade 12 timeline marker in 2016, this is where I finished high school. I finished EMCS, Edward Milne Community School, as a recovered graduate student with 150 grad students, which was awesomely amazing. Then I went to prom, which is something I never experienced before. I know I never experienced prom before, so this was an amazingly good experience for me. And then I went on to after high school was done, I went on to tell my story of how I emerged from autism. And, at the age of 20, my eye surgery journey was complete. And what was really amazing about this is that both my journeys were finished. My autism journey was complete. My eye surgery journey was complete in the same year at the same time. So that to me was amazingly good. And then I cleaned up my details all by myself. My diagnosis went behind me in the dust. And here I am at the age of 24. I'm completely a sociable, renowned member of society now. I'm talking to people. I'm making friends. I'm helping out people more. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm schmoozing with girls more. I'm talking to people more. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And now I'm a Mitchell on a mission to heal as many kids as I can from autism. Now, I'm not saying that all children will recover. Some will, but others won't. Because autism recovery is possible. It's not guaranteed, but it is possible for some children to emerge from this. But what you parents need to know just how scary autism is for your child and for my character, because my autism was extremely scary, because it could have gone either way. It could have gone where I could have recovered from autism, or I wouldn't recover from autism. But I went the other way, where I was one of the kids that did recover from autism and turned into a normal, functional, typical person in society, where I would talk to people, I would listen more, I would do this, I would do that. And so my recommendations for you parents out there is to get an early diagnosis, get the therapy rolling, get the GAPS diet going, get the methyl B12 injections. You parents have to be the ones to do the pull-in to get your child the diagnosis, to get them therapy, to get on the right path, and your child has to do the push-in to pull themselves out of their disabling isolation, out of their autistic world, and pull themselves back into your guys' world where they will be okay. When you parents are gone and you're not there anymore, your child will be able to take care of him or herself in the future, in the society. And that's what autism recovery should be about. It should be about when the parents are no longer there anymore, at least they will have a recovered, renowned member of the family to carry on the legacy and to carry on the name of the family. So that's my story, guys, and I hope that you parents like it, enjoy it. Go to my YouTube account, go to John Patrick, and like my videos, watch some of them, see what you think. Go to my Gmail account at jpmitchellautismrecovery.com, see what you think, and just learn from my experience, learn from my story, learn how scary autism is at first, learn what autism is, do some research, do some studying, get the early diagnosis, get the therapy, get the treatment, get the GAPS diet going, get the methyl B12 injections, because you parents out there don't realize how well it's going to pay off, or how well it's going to improve your child's prospects in life, of how they're going to function, how they're going to be okay, how they're going to be this and that in the future. So that's my story. Anyway, let's get on with this, guys. Let's do it.